The 7 banana peels you must avoid in order to win the 5,000 seed capital from the Tony Elumelu Foundation. So the Tony Elumelu Foundation Entrepreneurship Program for 2022 has now entered or is going into the second stage, which is the training stage. The application is over. It closed on the 31st of March, and it was extended by an additional 7 days, I think so. So officially 7th of April, the application closed for the year 2022. So the application stage is over, and if you made it through the training stage, I want to congratulate you. And if you're going to want to win this grant this year, in this video I'm going to expose to you some of the mistakes, banana peels, hidden mistakes, hidden errors, hidden things that is going to affect your application negatively, and why you should avoid such things. So you need to get to know this, and it's very, 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 very important. In a previous video, I had talked about a number of things that made it why you did not receive, especially for those who applied for the TEF 2021, why you received that not qualified or not shortlisted email. And this is a kind of a continuation, especially, and now is the warning for those who are applying for this year. Whether you are applying as a new person or a returning applicant, this video is for you. Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Gabriel. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Hit the notification bell so that you get to know each time I post a new video. So if you are on the video you're watching right now, on this video you're watching right now, just go right down here, look at this button. You will find this button, just hit it. Hit it, you'll be able to subscribe to my channel. I make videos that simplify the journey into entrepreneurship, business, digital marketing, and making money online. So if you are a newbie, in any of these areas, consider subscribing to my channel and you will not regret it. If you go to my front page, my home page, this is where you will find the subscription button. Just hit on it, right? So if you're using a tablet, this is where you will find the subscription button. Hit the subscribe button, and if you're on mobile, this is where you find the subscription button. So now that we are done with this, let's get straight into the discussion or the topic for this video. And if you're ready, I am ready. So the 7 banana peels you must avoid in order to win the TEF 5,000 grant for year 2022 or any subsequent years, right? So the first one is relying on previous year's instructions. So I understand you, of course, a lot of people have gone through this training. Last year alone, 400,000 people. So it's possible that if you're a new applicant, it's possible that somebody or maybe the person who even told you about this application applied last year, went through the process, maybe even won it, right? Okay, or maybe you applied last year and you feel that the experience you have had last year, you can bring it into this year, or the person who helped you or who informed you about the TEF, has some information for you that will be relevant for you this year. But I want to warn you, as much as those information are going to be helpful, they can become banana peels for you. So you want to be very careful. Take instructions from the Tony Elumelu Entrepreneurship Program. Now, after each year, the Tony Elumelu Entrepreneurship, the foundation sits down and reviews its processes, or reviews their processes and all their instructions and all their modalities. And each year, they review and take away the things they feel are not okay or based on complaint they have received, and then bring in new things, new criteria to strengthen the process. All right. So each year there is a new modality for you to follow in application. So don't rely on the previous year's instructions. follow the new instructions you are being given. Every week after the onboarding session, there is probably going to be info sessions which is done via the YouTube channel. You need to, via their YouTube channel, the Onuoha Foundation Entrepreneurship Program, you need to log in during those sessions. And if you cannot watch them live, you can go ahead and watch the replay which they put on the channel after the live session. So please do not rely on previous sales instruction. It is a huge mistake that can cost you this grant. By the way, I'll be posting summaries of each info session, starting with the onboarding session every week. So after each info session, I'm going to summarize it in 15-20 minutes video, and I'll post it on this channel. And that's another reason why you should consider subscribing to this channel, right? Okay, so that's for you if you are unable. I strongly advise that you watch that video live, but if you are unable to for any reason, check out my channel. If a day after this info session, I'll be able to summarize and post it. The second mistake is inconsistency with due diligence information in document, right? So as you are during the application stage, you were asked for some information which consisted of your name, your full name, your resident address, contact address, which is not the business address, the address where you live. And then you were also asked for your ID card, your national ID card, alright? A nationally recognized ID card. In any of the 54 countries in Africa, a nationally recognized ID card. So these are what the Onuoha Foundation considers as due diligence. Now, at some stage in this application, you're likely going to be asked to prove some of the information you have provided in your bio information, your name, your address, and your what other thing? Yes, your name and your address and your means of identification that prove that you're a resident of these countries in Africa forever, for whatever reason they are asking for this information. But these are what they call the due diligence information. Now the problem is, the issue here is, a lot of people provide different names in the application, whereas there is a different name in the ID cards, or they use a different ID card during the application stage, and they change the ID card when they ask them for due diligence. Another issue is the information you provide, especially this is where the most errors come from. The information you provide in your residence address should correspond with the information they ask you to bring as utility bill or tax clearance or tax certificate that has your address. So the address in those certificates should match the address in your in the portal, in the dashboard of the TEF Connect. So you want to make sure that there is consistency in the information you provide. Don't make any discrepancies. Your name, the name you're giving to Tony Lumelu should match the name in your ID card. No discrepancy. Whether it is driver's license, whether it is international passport, make sure the names match. And that is it for the mistake number 2. A lot of people provide information during the due diligence that are inconsistent with the information that is on their dashboard. That is a ground for disqualification. Alright, let's get to the third one, which affects a whole lot of people, which is procrastination and late submission. Now, there are a lot of people. Last year, like I told you earlier, I mentioned earlier, over 400,000 people applied for the Onuoha Foundation. This year, Onuoha Foundation has not released the number of people who applied, but I'm sure it is going to be still around that 400,000 or more, right? Actually, this year they were targeting 1 million people to apply and be trained. So if you can see, so you see the number of people they are picking is not going to be up to 10,000. It's not going to be up to 10,000. Last year it was 4,000 something, and this year I don't know. We don't know how many they are going to pick. But you see the competition is so tight. You don't want any of these silly mistakes to cost you this application. So whenever you are asked to submit anything about take your time and make sure that you submit and do not procrastinate. Do not submit your information late. All right, submit when it is due for submission or even much earlier. And that is why you may want to prepare this document ahead of time. You may want to prepare these documents ahead of time and review them such that when you now get instructions, you can just make some little adjustments. And that is why I'm planning a webinar, all right, that I'm going to help you prepare your business summary, business summary template, you prepare your business plan, and prepare a pitch, all right. Prepare a pitch ahead of time. So if there is anything, you can just adjust. And when you're talking about pitch, we're talking about the script for your pitch, to script your pitch, all right. So, but that's a talk for another day. You can ask questions in the comment section, and I'll give you details on how this webinar is going to look like. The mistake number 4 is applying with general ideas. So mistake number 4 would be applying with general ideas. So a lot of times people submit their application with ideas that you don't see anything different from what this guy is doing. It's either that he's just doing what everybody is doing. A friend of mine tells me every time that you can't profit from general knowledge. I mean, there has to be something different in your business idea. There has to be something innovative, and there has to be something creative. There has to be something you're doing different from every other person. Don't do what every other person is doing. Another thing is that you don't want to pick up ideas that the problem is so large, the solution, is so, the whole idea is so wide that $5,000 will not, even if you put $5,000 in that business proposal or business idea or existing business, it will swallow the whole money, and it will not look like anything happened. You received any grant. You don't want to apply with such ideas. You don't want to apply with ideas that solves such huge problems that that only you cannot solve it. Only you and your team, no matter how much you do, even a country cannot solve it. Problems like poverty, you want to niche down. If you're talking about poverty, you want to niche down. And as a matter of fact, you can't even be talking about poverty. You can't be talking about something that solves problem of poverty in the business. Because that is a global issue. Poverty is a global issue. It's a global problem. Unless you're niching down to a specific thing you're doing to this specific target audience in order to reduce poverty. That is understandable. All right. So maybe you're providing skills to a number of people. Of course, that's understandable. But you can't come and say I'm just trying to give you an example, all right, of what some people are doing that is really, really all right. So applying with general ideas is out of it. Niche down. If you're in the agricultural sector, you pick a particular sector, maybe cassava in that sector, and even in the cassava, you don't want to do everything in the cassava value chain. You niche down again to a smaller aspect of cassava, maybe processing, maybe farming, maybe fertilization for farmers, right? Maybe training for cassava farmers, something like that. That is niching down. So you don't want to pick out the whole of cassava. Cassava is a huge subsector in the agri sector. So you niche down to this list and provide so that when a solution is found, when you do something, when you provide a solution, it will become significant that all right, something has been done in this, and it will be easy to measure what you have done or what you have input in your business, right? So the number 5th mistake you should avoid is multiple logins. So this is really strange, but then it happens. We are Africans, and a lot of people do not have all these systems. So maybe someone comes to you to say, my system is malfunctioning, my phone is malfunctioning, I cannot log in, I don't know why, so let me log into your application. That is jeopardizing your own chances and both of your chances of getting into this stage. This is really a tricky one, but the Chelilimilu Foundation, in order to forestall people getting this thing done by others, is having a software, is using a software that is able to dictate your location and the system you're logging into via the IP address. So it's able to dictate your IP address. So if you log in multiple applications into one phone, one system, it will be detected, and that is a ground for disqualification. Nobody tells you this, but you ought to know this. Don't allow someone logging into your portal, into their dashboard through your phone, and also not apply for others. Do not do this application of process for other people. Maybe using your phone to do for this your friend, and that's your friend, and that's your sister, and that should be discouraged. Do not do that. It's going to jeopardize your own chances of getting this thing done. So please just get to know this. And you may think that using the VPN will help you. There's also an application they are using to detect. This is a modern world, so we all know that when you track people's IP address, they are going to use VPN. So don't try to do that. Everybody already knows that. So don't try to do that. So avoid multiple logins from the same system. Use your phone or your laptop or your tablet just for your own application right? Okay, so let's move into mistake number 6. Overambitiousness with your numbers. Don't be overambitious with your numbers. A lot of applicants think that Italy would give them the grant if their profitability is so large, if they present a very wide profitability. Look, that is not the case. Different sectors of business, of the economy, of the African economy specifically, have different profit margins. There are different profit margins. A business could be profitable in the next 6 months. Another business in another sector in the next 2 years is yet to make a profit, and it's still running normal. It is not running. There's nothing wrong with the business. It's just following its own pattern, right? So every business has their trend. Every business sector have their trend. So you must not post profit in your first year. You must not post profit in your first 6 months. And of course, you do not have to add plenty zeros to your profitability in order to. So just work with the number, with the realistic number that your business can produce. And that is also another reason why I refer you to the first point of why I was saying you should not use a general idea. I think that's mistake number 4. Don't use general idea. I was saying something about niching down to specifics. Get to the specifics of. So you do not need to be overambitious with your numbers. Use the numbers as they are, and you also need to understand some basics. If your market size is a specific number, or let's say 1 million, all right. When you are asked to calculate your revenue for a year, there's no how the 1 million is going to buy from you in 1 year. It's not possible. There is no how also, even in 10 years, you are going to capture all of the 1 million, right? You're going to take only a portion of the 1 million. I'm just using 1 million as an example because most times market sizes can be bigger than that, right? So because you have to consider that there are other people who are also running the same business as you, and some people are also going to patronize you. And then some of those people who are your potential customers will probably not be willing and able to buy at the time you're selling. So you must also have to remove those numbers. So consider the number of people. That is why your competitive analysis is also important. Which other person, who else is in the same business with you? So you have to consider all of that, and then you take only a portion. I don't think you should exceed, as a startup, more than 10% of your market size. You should not exceed more than 10% of your market size as your target market, because that is the number you should use to multiply. Because I see a lot of people multiply the price of their product, so by 1 million or by their market size, and they get such a huge number. And then maybe in a way to reduce the number to a reasonable extent, they begin to reduce their price, and they begin to tell you that their price is going to be lower and that's their competitive advantage. That's bullshit. It's not going to work. It's not workable, and it's a trap for you. So don't make that silly mistake. Don't make that mistake. make sure that your numbers are within range. They are, as a matter of fact, keep your numbers within the range of within a reasonable range. Let me just put it that way. Keep it within a reasonable range that is making sense, that is based on market research. Use the price of the market, competitive price that every other person is using. That way you are able to arrive at a reasonable figure for your, so don't overshoot the numbers. All right, so that's mistake number 6. Please avoid it. And mistake number 7, go there now, is not reviewing your write-offs before you submit. Right? Not reviewing your write-off before you submit. So within the period of between now and the time you get the grant, TEF is foundation. The program managers are going to be requesting you to submit different documents for your business, right? So your business summary template, business plan, pitch, all right, all of these things you're going to be submitting them. You need to, whenever you finish writing, you need to sit down and review what you have written. So review what you have written, and then that's the first level of reviewing, and then the next level would be to give it to someone else to review for you, right? So one of the things I don't review is my YouTube, my script for YouTube. This I usually don't review this slide I prepare for YouTube. I review them personally. I don't give it to them. And most times I find errors while I'm making videos. That's to tell you that no matter how smart you are, no matter how intelligent you are, when as long as you're writing things, whether you're using pen and paper to write it or you're typing with your computers, you're going to make mistakes. Either they are logical mistakes, whether they are typographical errors, either are spelling mistakes and all that. And you're going to come across that. It could also be numbers, right? Numbers that are not tallying. It could also be feasibility of the business. You may see your business as something that is feasible based on what you have written. You are satisfied and you feel it's okay. But when you give it to someone who is more experienced than you, they will spot mistakes that, of course, the judges would also see. So that is the advantage of reviewing your application, reviewing your document before submitting. So find someone who will be able to help you review your documents during the process of this application, such that you're not going to be making mistakes. You're not going to be submitting documents that are full of error, and the more error they find in your document, the less the likelihood of you being selected for this, right? So these are the 7 banana peels, the 7 mistakes you should avoid in order to win the 5,000 seed capital for the Tony Elumelu Foundation this year. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that you got value from this video. If there are any other mistakes you have seen, especially if you're an experienced entrepreneur, please use the comment section to let us know more. And if you have questions that you would like to be answered concerning your application for the Tony Elumelu Foundation that I have not answered in this channel, please post it on this in the comment section so that I will be able to get through to them and get back to you, right? I hope you enjoyed this session. I hope you enjoyed this video with me. In the previous videos, I have made a lot of contributions to. I have made previous videos on why you probably was not shortlisted in the last, especially if you're a 2021 applicant, and that video I will link it somewhere and on this page to the left or to the right, so you want to go and check it out and find out exactly what I discussed in that video. It's going to be helpful to you whether you are a returning applicant or you are a new applicant for the Tony Elumelu Foundation 2022. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with people, entrepreneurs like you, who find it valuable, especially in groups that you belong to, that contents that gathers entrepreneurs. Alright, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you have not done so. Like this video so that other people will see it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.